Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Shout it out.
Shout it out. I mean, mixed feelings on the story, but... Oh, good lord. That's how we're going to start the show. These poor bastards.
To get your paws off. My little boy, Bowie was drinking my LaCroix.
Like father, like son, they say.
Bowie's got the finer tastes, you know?
A man and a dog with good taste. Oh, he's trying to come to me. He wants some of the pamplemousse. What do you got?
I got the mango.
You got the mango? Cheers, my friend. Cheers.
Mango.
And Mike.
Badang. Hey. Hop, 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 hop. All right. If you hear us making weird noises, oh, I got the belly of a boy, and you hear me, ogling about my dog or goggling. Goggling's not a way. I don't know. I'm just saying things. Either way, I guess the point is, this is Matinee Edition.
Welcome back, folks.
You know it. We know it. There's been shit. Then we have things to talk about.
Oh, baby. You know what we should talk about first, though? What else you should check out here on the Old Heart Radio podcast?
Oh, yes. So...
We got a bunch of stuff.
We got Eppies on Eppies, dog.
The big 20 for fucking Under Further Review.
Yeah, shout outs to Amy Jones for
Great show.
Putting out a fucking awesome playlist to talk about. I really enjoyed the fact that she focused, and I mentioned it to her, but that she focused on some lyrical content.
Yeah.
That's something that's always been a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
And so, when you have a counsel who usually doesn't give a shit about that, it was kind of nice.
I always think that when it comes to lyrics and music, there's a level of like diminishing returns to some people, but then for other people, it is incredibly important to how meaningful the music itself is.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
I feel like you gotta strike the middle point, you know?
Yeah, I think somebody that has a bigger focus on writing like art forms centered around writing like things like poetry or even like I don't know. I guess the written word is different than sonic consumables, we'll say. And either way, what I'm trying to fucking say is
different than the sonic chant.
The fucking chants. Shout outs to Caleb. Shout outs to council member Caleb. But either way, yeah, we got episode 20 out. I will say this to your hot dogs or corn dogs really. I am probably back on the Saturday pod dump at the moment. So they're all going to be like that episode came out on Saturday with like a couple others, including the Whack Arnold's Bros and the most recent Matinee Edition that got posted.
Oh baby,
you know it, and you know it, and so that's probably going to happen again this week. But there will, as always, be 3 episodes to look forward to, man.
What is this week's episode of
the Whack Arnold's Brothers?
The Whack Arnold's.
Oh yeah, man.
And who is on this week for Under Further Review?
So this week for the Whack Arnold's Brothers, we have another it's like what 83. We're doing another 80s movie roundup. It's 83 through 86. No, 83 through 85. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so that'll be kind of fun. It'll be another 12 movies that we shout out. Including, a couple real juicy ones this time. As you get more into the 80s, you get crazier and crazier movies, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. And then for UFR, for Under Further Review, we have the guest coming up is Jasper St. Germain. He came back for a playlist, so he'll be popping up on that. And then after that, we'll have another guest.
Hey, that's exactly what we want, though, right?
Yeah.
Spread the love. You can't keep it fucking... The council themselves only have so much.
You can tell I organized this in my head. Especially because my calendar still says January.
It's been a crazy couple months, man.
Indeed it has.
We both took a swig as if we were doing it at the same time purposefully.
LaCroix, LaCroix, not a sponsor. Could be, though, if you want.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
We do it.
LaCroix in a heartbeat.
Minor Figures,
Squarespace.
I would,
if Minor Figures got better milk.
I like Minor Figures.
I'm gonna say that
though.
right now. If Minor Figures milk was better, I would roll with their
We
aesthetic.
should do Miracle Kitchen.
But I don't want to
do the milk, their blend that James Hoffman put together.
Interesting.
It's oat, coconut, and fava bean.
Fava. What?
It works.
What, would fucking Hannibal Lecter make this goddamn milk? Like,
Dude, hey, but we got a test little batch at Lander, and holy shit, is it good, man.
yeah, I mean, I feel like, I like often at work, if I'm making myself like a steamed beverage, especially, like I'll do a little bit of oat milk and a little bit of coconut milk. I think that provides a really great consistency
coconut tastes really good, but lacks the body.
It is. That's always been like the problem with it. It just, and so I think that's a good combo. I don't know about the fava bean, but
I think the fava has to do with
pretension,
and maybe it has to do with like foam density because you use the aquafaba to make like meringues and that type of stuff.
that makes sense.
You might give it a bit more structure, stop it from separating. Because I remember looking at it and that has dramatically the least in the blend.
Okay.
So it might be like alternate for like xanthan gum or something like that.
Okay. I mean, that's cool.
But it steamed fucking incredibly. Coffee tangent over.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I guess they didn't come here for milk talk, but I mean, you could. You guys want us to start a podcast called Milk Talk? Start paying us.
I think we can review a different alternate milk every week.
No, actually, that'd be kind of a fun program to try and do.
Market it to the coffee folks.
Because I'm last like quick milk tangent. We definitely are. I'm officially over the Oatly sponsorship. I'm not really like. I'm gonna say it right now, Oatly. If you're listening, Dr. Oatly or whatever your name is,
Mr. Oat.
Your product has gotten weirder.
Yeah.
I don't like it anymore. It's too thick. And on top of it, you guys don't seem to ever fix your supply chain issues. So suck a dick. And
cheerio. Hey, that's
that being said, somebody sponsor us, so we won't turn on you.
Shall we? I have a very brief thing to say in our usual introductory segment. The Gaming Minute has returned, folks, for another week. When will it get canceled? Never.
Why? We own it.
We own it. Whether you want to hear it or not, this is the Gaming Minute. This is pretty brief. I've been playing the fuck out of the Witch Queen. It is by far the best Destiny expansion they've released on like day one. While you're doing that, you want to give me a bit more audio? Oh, there you go. It's definitely the best day one launch Destiny's ever had. Going into like making it accessible, having a really good, well thought out campaign. It was just a good time all around. And getting into the post game, which is where the real meat of that franchise is, it's been fucking awesome getting back into it more so. And coming up this weekend is the launch of the raid. Big fucking deal. So raids, they essentially, Destiny was the first sort of foray into this for console gamers. But a raid in like World of Warcraft, you'd get a bunch of friends together and do like a very mechanically challenging like series of bosses or series of encounters to get like the best shit in the game.
Yeah.
Usually a few hour commitment at a time.
Is that kind of what this is?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, you have 6 people. You go into like a new or an exclusive area. You're given 0 guidance, and you have to figure out how to beat bosses or get through rooms with just trial and error.
Okay.
So, and the deal is they do this usually once or twice a year whenever a raid comes out. They put a challenge mode in until someone beats it, so everyone is underleveled, making it extra hard.
Nice.
You have to figure everything out yourself. They show no footage of it during trailers, so it's completely fresh when you find it. Okay. You have to learn the mechanics. You have to learn how to beat the bosses. You have to learn how to get through specific areas. And whoever wins gets everybody on the team gets like the exclusive item for the raid. They get sent like a wrestler belt with the raid logo on it and like with all their gamer tags on the belt. Damn. And then they get I think they're doing it this year. They're giving out a cash prize for the winners. What's fucking crazy is like you'll get streamers and like diehard players going out, and they will spend the whole fucking 24 hours trying to beat it. I think a couple years ago there was a raid called Last Wish that dropped. That only one team beat it, and they beat it 23 hours in, and then no one else beat it for a couple more days. It was so hard.
Damn.
I know. It's crazy, and it's one of these fun rituals in that community. That said, I think last year, they made the raid more accessible. They put it on a weekend rather than on a weekday, and
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, it broke a bunch of records. A bunch more people beat it just because people who had jobs could actually go in. And what we've seen recently is a bunch of normal people, a bunch of normal people.
I just like how you from normal people who have jobs could go actually. And
I think that's patronizing. It always was this thing.
I don't think I thought it was appropriate.
Well, I mean, I think
I just thought it was funny.
Well, it is funny. It's patronizing towards the people that like our content creators, because when that was like the bread and butter, like so many people would do it. People would get days off from work. But most the people that would win.
Could you imagine that submitting a request off because you have a raid?
You got to run the raid. You got to do the raid race.
Oh man, you better have an understanding fucking boss.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No, but either way, that's.
It's one of these cool traditions, and since they've made it more accessible, so many more people have participated. Mm-hmm. And I mean, dude, we're getting very close to the place where I could actually recommend Destiny to somebody that doesn't play it because it's getting so good. Like the story's fucking killer this year. They made it more accessible. It's like, it's fucking awesome. I'm not gonna be able to participate in the raid race this year because I gotta fucking work.
And that damn job.
I did it 1 year. Can
you get a request off in?
Fuck no. I'm working in a cafe, man. I think it's on Saturday this year. I might throw a Twitch stream on the back and just keep track of whoever's in the lead. But the 1 year I did it was I think it was the year after I graduated from high school. I just happened to have like a Tuesday and a Wednesday off while I was working at B&B. Mm-hmm. And I just joined up with some randos and we ended up like finishing like 700th.
Hey.
It's worth something.
Out of how many?
I think there were like
5 billion.
I think what was it? They put out the statistics last year where there were like...
Dude, I'm not going to hold this while you chug.
There were like 20,000 completions last year within the first 2 days, and there were 400,000 attempts.
Dang.
So it's somewhere around there. Like there are a lot of people giving it a shot, and the vast minority actually finishing it. It's an interesting like element of that franchise that's always fun. Yeah.
Well, and like you said, like it sounds like raids have been, a part of gaming. I mean, it's raids are essentially like it sounds like essentially just like a fucking tabletop game. Exactly. Where it's like you and your friends are going, getting together and doing the fucking adventure.
Imagine having a dungeon master who isn't giving you shit, and you're really having to try and figure out everything, and just sort of roll with the punches. Yeah. There you go. I think, and it's one of those. I think what they always called it was like aspirational content. It's not made for everyone. But if you want to get the best of it, then you're going to fucking do a raid, Fair enough. So that said, calling you the fucking council, we should rename that clan the council and fucking go for it.
Hey, man. That's up to you and those boys. I have no skin in that game.
Hey, fucking Nick. Was it Nick? Nick was talking about this? Let's do it. I'm in. I'll Sherpa. We got to get you up to level.
Well... that coming out of the video game minute here.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you can tell I'm just feeling I'm feeling randy today. I
Jared's
suppose
feeling rife with chaos.
I'm in a mood. Yeah, I'm here for the chaos.
That quad shot of espresso is hitting you hard.
It is, and like
the way you said it is.
And like I almost suggested stopping somewhere on the way out of downtown too. I was just like, I should have got another espresso. But no, so something I'm kind of. I've been following lately is the new Dragon Ball movie that's about to come out. I was telling you about it just like right before we recorded.
Yeah, I didn't even realize there's another one coming out.
It's cool because like the last time they released a movie, it's so technically it's a Dragon Ball Super movie, which is like currently the storyline title that they're going with. There's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. Yeah. There's also Dragon Ball GT if you're into that.
Gran Turismo.
Right. Weird crossover.
Fuck cars.
Yeah, they went from like Kamehamehas to like turbo engine fucking vehicle boosts and all that shit. I don't know, man. But so here's the thing. So like this
Bowie
movie,
agrees.
it's coming off the cuff of Bowie is passionate about this subject.
I love Dragon Ball
They
Z.
released this movie a couple years ago called Dragonball Super, and it was a Broly movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that movie was one of the first movies, Dragon Ball movies, to ever be released like in theaters in the United States.
Yeah.
And it was actually quite popular for what it was.
Yeah, I remember it was very
surprising.
successful.
I
It
think
did like a limited release, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
right. And it was very successful at the box office.
Yeah, and I think it kind of caught people off guard that there's. I mean, because the audience is there, but I just don't think people imagine that the audience would turn out in the theater
I feel
for
like
it.
people consistently underestimate the love of anime that there is in the States
God, yeah.
and worldwide.
God, yeah, dude.
Like, it's not a fucking Japanese thing anymore. It's just a cultural fixture of entertainment.
Yeah,
And I think not to go back to games, we're already past the game minute, but it falls similarly in that category of like a genre or an element of entertainment that is constantly undersold.
yeah. I mean, it's true,
some
and
circles.
I think, because I think like this upcoming movie will be interesting because it looks stylistically different than some of the products we've seen from like the franchise.
Yeah.
But because it looks like it's a lot, and I guess this kind of plays off of the Broly movie, but it looks a little bit more like computer animated heavy.
Interesting. A little bit more 3D, less drawn.
Which I think maybe I'm wrong on this. I think that's one of the reasons why perhaps the movie, like the Broly movie, did so well, is because it had a little more of that element to it, and seeing that in the theater might have been like
Pretty cool.
Well,
I think there's
know?
such a charm to like I would watch Dragon Ball Z like on weekends when I was a kid all the time. And like even as I grew up, I would always watch it from time to time. I'm not like as big of a fan as you are, but like I fucking love the action sequences and how they're drawn. It all looks spectacular. But if you're gonna up it to like a theater, throw some 3D graphics in there and just intermix it because it's been done convincingly. It's not gonna like break from like audiences are cool with it. It's not gonna break from the style that much.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to check out because it's called Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and it's gonna be. It seems like it's gonna be centering on where in the past, especially with Dragon Ball Super, you've been really focused on Goku and Vegeta again.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna refocus on Gohan.
Interesting.
And
I
so
fucking
you're gonna
love
see
Gohan.
adult Gohan really take the center stage, and like this just dropped just yesterday or something like that. Piccolo will also be like a really main player, so you're gonna get like that.
What?
And then one of my favorite relationships in the franchise, that whole, like disciple student relationship that Piccolo and Gohan have, will really be like kind of heavy in it. And it looks like Piccolo even has a fucking transformation that happens in this this movie. So he like finally gets some love again, where it's like, boom, now he's stepping up. He's more powerful than he's been before. So it looks like it's going to be pretty fucking cool. There's heavy rumors because it centers around the Red Ribbon Army and like these two androids that you've seen, but it heavily centered. There's heavy rumors that there's like a kind of like a cell like creature that's going to be the ultimate boss in this movie. So it'd be fucking dope if that's the case, to see like adult Gohan have a rematch with like Cell in a way. So who knows, but that's something to look forward to coming out in theaters. It'll probably be a limited release like Broly. So
like one weekend, and then they're gonna probably widely broadcast it on TV.
Yeah, I think like with Broly, like it was a limited release, and then
like very quickly went up for like rental.
Yeah, it took a while for it to like get onto any sort of like streaming platform for like free, but it was definitely like available online. Like
it was like weekend rental or theater, right?
Yeah. It was one of those.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
I feel like for like once again we've brought this up like over the years of doing this show, of like there is a shift happening in entertainment where like that model probably should become a lot more viable as the years go by for specific kinds of films, especially things like this. You want like it's fucking awesome when a TV show has like a big finale or something, or in like some cases like this, an animated feature that's not a spin-off but is a direct tie-in to a long-running story. Fuck it, people will go to a theater. There's fandom's at a huge point now, you know?
It's true. I mean, like, just because, and this is something that like people forget. I think it's wild how these COVID years have kind of like set in, because I think people forget how much fun there was to be had, like when like a Star Wars movie drops and you and your fucking dickhead friends put on some like Jedi robes and like go to the fucking theater. Dude. Sure, they might try to confiscate your lightsaber, but like you know, getting like doing stuff like that, like there's huge fan bases for that kind of shit, you know. And same thing with like a property like Dragon Ball, where it's like, you know, if you give people a chance to just like have that experience, I'm sure people will show up, you know what I mean?
Dude, that just reminded me. Me and Kate might
cosplay.
Me and Kate are thinking about going to. Kate really wants to go to like California or something.
Yeah.
And we might, because my folks never got me anything. The one time I went to Disneyland, I've told myself I'm gonna buy the most expensive thing I can at Disneyland, which is a lightsaber from like the build your own lightsaber thing.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive.
I'm gonna dress up for fucking Star Wars. I'm gonna go to Galaxy's Edge, and I'm gonna build myself a fucking lightsaber and live out a childhood dream. It's like, but it's that same sort of thing. It's like getting engrossed in a fandom enough that you're willing to invest beyond just like watching it in its traditional means. Yeah. Whether that's going to an amusement park and doing something fun adjacent to a fandom, or going to a theater and watching something in there that you would usually watch on TV that's at like a larger scale.
And, you know, the biggest example, like shout outs to like comic book conventions that happen across the fucking states and across the world, where thousands of people show up in costume and in character to just fucking mingle and pretend like there's something else for a little bit, or like to have fun with it. Dude. Like it's something that like, it's not for everybody, but
it's a good time.
But it's a good time, and one of the things that like can also make events more fun for people who don't want to dress up is like being around all these characters and these people that are wanting to do that. And so,
dude, I went to Emerald City Comic Con a couple times.
Dress the fuck up if you want.
I the second time I went to Emerald City Comic Con when I was like 16, a buddy of mine who didn't go had like a Spartan suit.
Oh yeah.
So I threw that on. I went as like a red fucking Spartan.
Nice.
It was great. It was awesome. And now me and Kate have been saying for a while, since next time Emerald City Comic Con comes around, we're gonna go as Bolin and Opal from Legend of Korra.
Oh, there you go.
Because we both can pull it off.
Fair enough. Yeah, that'd be dope. I don't know what I'd dress up as for the next one. It'd be something, man. I really got to get like my Indiana Jones costume together or something like that, you know?
Nah, dude, you should be fucking Shia LaBeouf from Indiana Jones 4.
yeah, I'll be Mutt.
Yeah, Mutt.
Of all characters, I'll be Mutt.
I almost said Short Round, but I was like, that's not the right one.
Well, in completely weird entertainment segues, I did just read recently that Indiana Jones, the most recent movie, has finished filming.
I forgot that they were doing that. Yeah,
it's actually gone through. It's happening, and I'm a huge. Let it be known on this fucking pod and to the world, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah,
but I'm really worried that they're just bleeding this thing dry,
dude.
You know,
I don't know like how much Harrison Ford's gonna be into it. You know.
That's just sort of it, dude. It's like
if they were gonna do a good Indiana Jones, they should recast.
Well, you can't recast a role like that at this point. Like it's like the same thing with like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. You know, if somebody were to come up and be like, "Yo, this person looks exactly like a young Harrison Ford. This person like can really pull it off," people will still be like, "Fuck that," and that's fine. You just have to let the franchise go.
Yeah,
like that's sort of it. Or. And this is my genius idea, and Spielberg, you can take it because I know you're listening. Why don't you just reboot the Young Indiana Jones series?
That's what I mean.
For TV or for streaming, more appropriately.
Change it.
You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to do Indiana Jones in his fucking middle or later life, and just
no one wants to see like geriatric Indiana Jones.
Exactly, and like that would be a way that could probably segue into a final. And I'm not necessarily for this, but a final recast of sorts.
Yeah.
Where like if you spend enough time with that character building it back up, you could eventually like have like somebody accepted into the role, you know, and like where it's back to indie punching Nazis or something, you know.
Well, I feel like I feel like there's like I don't know. I'm a lot more forgiving in terms of like recasting classic characters to a point.
You are,
but
I am not.
I understand the logic as to like why people don't like it, but then at the same time, it's like I don't know, especially at this point with Harrison Ford, especially if it's old. It's gonna be old Harrison Ford. How the fuck do you convince me? Like, are we gonna like have 0 shots of him running?
Well, that's exactly what I'm worried about. Is that like you're gonna have really poor action sequences? You know what I mean?
Which like Indiana Jones has so much charm and so much of his character comes out during those action sequences. That you really risk losing that.
I mean, one of the most memorable things to me about Indiana Jones movies, and this may be stupid to somebody, but is the sound of his punches that get thrown.
Yeah,
they're so heavy and specific.
Yeah,
like it's like it's not going to be as convincing seeing it.
That was a great punch noise.
Seeing,
by the way.
Thank you. Seeing an older an older Indiana Jones at this point throwing those same heavy punches.
Is everything gonna be like the scene where the dude pulls the swords and he just shoots him?
I hope so, because that would be the most convincing version of this movie.
I think you could go the direction of like, this is an old Indiana Jones who just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Who's just sprinkle a little Murtaugh on him. He's just too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do it.
Just
you know what
bam.
I mean? Like, he's just like, oh fuck, how do we get this over with? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they do like in the same way as they fucking attempted with Mutt, bring in some young character that they can not like soft reboot, but can sort of take the reins if they ever choose to make another one, you know?
Yeah. I do think that was a smart attempt. It was just so weird because like the way, I mean that like Indiana Jones 5 was just, or 4.
The Crystal Skull.
4.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 4 was just received poorly in general. And I think, that the idea of like...
I don't think Mutt was the overall issue with that movie.
No, but the idea of Mutt's character is not like the most offensive. You know what I mean?
It's not.
Like son stepping into the role or something like that. You know.
If anything, Indiana Jones having like a child he never knew existed is very much in that character. It doesn't that would not surprise me. The dude probably has like 20 kids.
What?
But
he's been laying pipe, okay?
Yeah. He's Indiana Jones, man. Come on. It's not that.
You think Indiana Jones doesn't get laid? Oh, he doesn't punch fucking people robbing graves? No.
He punches a Nazi and he immediately goes and gets laid.
Bullwhipping across fucking caverns. He's punching Nazis and he's getting fucking laid. All right.
Yeah, dude.
The 3 majors.
He's probably getting some. I mean, let's be real. There's probably like 30 mutts.
There's 30 mutts out there.
All they need, watch that be it. They bring in,
ridiculous.
They show up and he's like, "Where's Mutt? Well, he's Mutt's sick. He's not coming with you this time. Here's your other son."
But you can have this one.
You never met him.
I don't know about that guy. But yeah, so that'll be interesting.
His name's Louisiana.
Oh my god, dude, Louisiana Jones. I mean, coming off of Indy, that's not bad. Well, not that Indiana.
You call him Louis.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Louis Jones.
Dude, I'm a writer, screenwriter, Lucas Casal. Come and hire me. Fucking taking resumes from the fucking candidates here.
Damn, dude. I wish I remembered what I was fucking reading earlier. I was just reading something earlier about Steven Spielberg kind of like having his hand in like a TV show that was recently aired, but I don't remember, so I don't want to bring it up. Either way, it seems like Spielberg's it's like rare to hear Steven Spielberg news, I feel like these days.
Yeah.
And,
but I mean, like the dude's
but he's
fucking,
still active.
Yeah,
like,
he's active. He's a bit more on the back end now. Like he's doing less stuff himself and more like promoting or producing projects for other filmmakers. Yeah, which is fine.
Oh, totally. Like which is exactly like, I mean, it's for somebody that has had the career he has, like that.
It is
I couldn't see him doing a lot
evolution.
Yeah, I wouldn't see him directing like a ton of pieces. You know.
I think. I think he's fucking done the work. And it's, if anything, I like that he's out there producing and promoting art things. Because if you attach Steven Spielberg's name to something, you're gonna get a lot of clout to that immediately.
Yeah.
Or a kind of attention that you really wouldn't have it. So there's an opportunity for him to maybe promote some and like produce some interesting projects that wouldn't get otherwise made.
It's true.
But that is not, he needs to get his fucking finger out of Jurassic World first.
Oh, goddamn, I'm so sick of that. So sick of Jurassic World shit. But here's another random rumor. And I think this might not be just a rumor.
Yeah.
But I haven't personally confirmed it. So, but rumor has it that Beetlejuice 2 is officially going to be in the works.
Really?
Bringing back Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think Alec Baldwin will be involved in this project because I don't think he's going to be doing much. Shout out.
There's like 5 Baldwins though, so just
Yeah. I mean, hey, dude, like
get the worst Baldwin.
another Baldwin bites the dust. That's just it. That's it. I think Steve Baldwin or whatever his fucking name was, the dude that was in Biodome with Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
That dude went on to be like a heavy like Christian guy who sort of just like
No, really?
Yeah, which was kind of like funny because his character was always like a fucked up like stoner dude or something like that.
He found the way.
Yeah, well, this is the way.
This is the way. He's a Mandalorian actually, not Christian.
But so anyway, I think that would be really fucking cool, and now would be a very appropriate time for that because Michael Keaton, the man who just keeps having
back.
resurgences, he's been back, dude. Like so, like that's the thing. If you think about Michael Keaton, right? He was a huge comedy actor.
Yep.
One of the main reasons that he was super controversial when he got picked for Batman.
Yep.
To the point where people were like writing letters to newspapers about it. And shit like that.
It is very reassuring to me to see that fan bases haven't changed.
No, they're
just
angry.
more direct now.
They're always a hornet's nest. And so, you see him go through those stages and huge popularity because of Batman. Like undying legendary popularity because of Batman.
Yep.
And then he goes quiet for a while. It seems like he maybe does some work, some background works, but he comes back with the movie Birdman.
Birdman's
which was
so good.
fucking incredible. That movie's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you guys, it's like you got to find it.
Great performance from Michael Keaton. Great performance from Emma Stone.
The direction, the cinematography is fantastic.
If I'm remembering right, it's shot to look like one continuous shot. Correct?
A lot of it, at least, is if not the whole thing, is meant to look like that. It's really cool and it's
really
fluid.
Cool.
It's really fluid the way it's shot, and
I'm
so
pretty sure he got a Best Actor nod for that as well.
Yeah, and then so that brought him back a little bit more.
Yep.
Spider-Man, his role as the Vulture in Spider-Man, obviously brought him back into pop culture.
The Vulture is arguably still one of the best villains in the MCU.
And then
partially because of his performance, partially because it was well written. Here's to hoping that he's all right in Morbius.
And then Jesus, and then now you have him coming back as Batman.
Back as the Bat.
You know what I mean? So, which is epic and still just so baffling to me. But
did you see that Ben Affleck's Batman is gonna die?
I've heard that. I've heard that rumor at least because he doesn't Ben Affleck. I think is done with playing the fucking character anyway.
Yeah.
But they've wanted to do something else with that role for the Flash movie. So
hey, they kill him. That could be another way. That could be another reason why Barry starts a Flashpoint.
Well, I was thinking it'd be instead of doing, because they're clearly not doing the Thomas Wayne storyline.
No.
So I mean they could basically essentially replace Thomas Wayne with Ben Affleck's senior statesman Batman. Yep. Who's a little more gritty, bit more willing to fucking fire off a gun.
Yeah.
It actually fits in perfectly with the character that they've established, and that character gets a fucking blade shoved through his chest by the Reverse Flash instead of Thomas Wayne. I think that's the smart way to play that. But you never know.
And then
Flash
he
is still such a mystery movie, man.
Dude, yeah, who knows what's gonna happen?
Because Flashpoint is just a name at this point. You really don't know. Like that there's gonna be a divergent timeline established. You know what I mean? And so that's basically what Flashpoint means at this point in terms of yeah, Bowie's chogging over here. Let's go. Care to comment, Bowie?
No.
All right. Dead air. Thanks, Bowie. Thanks, Bowie.
That's painful. I think. No, I'm excited to see what happens with all this, and I feel like that's also like a pristine segue to the Batman.
Oh, pretty much. obviously that's coming out this weekend. I mean,
I'm going
I was
tonight.
I was like, you can get tickets as soon as today, tomorrow. I always think that's funny when they hype
Film and
that.
TV influencer Lucas Casal going to watch the Batman early.
Print yourself off some sort of like official looking
Oh,
badge.
I'll get a lanyard.
And try and get like a. Is there any press?
Can I have
press
popcorn?
bags? Press bags, please.
I'm an influencer. Popcorn, please.
Do you have any did the studio send any batarangs for any influencers that might be screening this movie tonight?
Dude, so I think we were talking about this before. We haven't watched it. We'll give our thoughts probably next week. I'm gonna watch it tonight. You'll probably squeeze into a showing in the next week or so.
Yeah. It'll definitely happen for me soon.
Critical consensus already though is fucking incredible. Like we haven't it hasn't been seen yet by like general audiences, but critics have been loving it.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like it's having a solid release.
Yeah.
You're hearing a few more trickle out things about like specifics, but still nothing really major spoiler wise has come out.
I haven't paid any attention to like spoilers or anything so far.
Yeah, but overall, I'm just interested to see how it is. I did read this thing. There's an article on CBR about like the one of the characters in the movie. It's John Turturro. Anyway,
John Turturro's playing Falcone.
Yeah,
right?
he's playing Carmine Falcone, and apparently there is a prequel book released for this movie.
Interesting.
And in the prequel book, they refer to Carmine Falcone as being like one of the scariest people in Gotham, to the point where like in this book, that's kind of established that there's these other characters, including Oswald Cobblepot, who work for Falcone, and they they're like terrified of him and shit, and and this is all of this kind of seems to be established in this prequel book.
Cool.
And it's all happening in this like the year or two before the stuff you see in the movie. So it seems really strange to release a official prequel book.
It probably is like not
the
essential
Batman
reading,
movie. But
I feel like always stuff like that is it's not essential, and it's to a point milking the fan base.
Yeah, all it serves is to give you
a bit more
it
basis.
just gives you character context, like stuff like that, and that's not something that like the average fan needs more of. It's something that like
it's
something that like somebody who's like, oh, I want to know what Penguin's been up to. Like that person will definitely be into like reading that before they go to the movie. But you don't need that.
Apparently,
you know what I mean?
Penguin is fucking awesome. Like that's one of the things I've seen cited in a bunch of reviews.
I've heard
Colin Farrell is awesome as Penguin.
I've also heard that his role as a villain is a lot more toned down than people assume.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of interesting. So you're not really gonna. I really doubt that he's gonna have any main play into the overall
maybe just a
villain storyline that's gonna happen.
Maybe just a good way to set up that like Batman's here,
Well, yeah.
Give him to take down a villain early in the film.
I mean, he's a great character to help you paint a broader picture of Gotham, right? He has his paws in the criminal underworld. He's also kind of like in the in Batman's rogues gallery, so you get the a further taste of like more villains in the world, not just criminals. And so you get a lot more with him, and obviously there's multiple things that are coming off of this project, which is interesting. So this movie is spinning off with a Gotham series that will be focused on Commissioner Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, and then there's supposedly also a Penguin series that will be spinning off featuring Colin Farrell, obviously, where that will be more things like with his character will be explored.
Cool.
So that's why I feel like his character is almost like a tease, where it's like you're gonna get some stuff from him, but you're not gonna get you're not gonna get like a Danny DeVito focused kind of storyline where it's like he's like the Penguin's gonna blow up the city. It'll be like Penguin has some information and he doesn't fucking like Batman, and so he like maybe tries to kill him once, and then he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that the rest of the movie. He's
gonna avoid him.
So
it's very much how how fucking Penguin operates in like the Arkham games. He's like, I'm no match. My goons are gonna get fucked up by Batman. I'm just gonna try to avoid him.
He's not a physical fucking threat to Batman.
No.
But that being said, like obviously there's other villains in this movie, including the Riddler. You have the tease of like potential Joker-esque character. I read that the scene with the guy that everybody thought was going to play the Joker is like officially a deleted scene.
Oh, okay.
So it's something that like I think the director Matt Reeves said that will be on like the DVD release or something like that.
The Barry Kogan.
Yeah. So
Druig.
So I don't think that actually has any like. I doubt that the Joker will have any appearance in this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, who's like the zombie fucking dude? The zombie villain. You know what I'm talking about? Not like he looks like the Hulk. I always forget his name.
Oh, you're talking about Solomon Grundy?
Yeah, Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday, dude.
And yeah, who should we? I want to see Solomon Grundy in live action.
You know who should play Solomon Grundy?
Who?
Michael Chiklis, the guy who played the Thing in the Fantastic Four movies. J fucking K. No, it just
Dude.
like J.K. Rowling's there for sure. Like that would not be good.
J.K. Rowling's. Oh wait, okay. Actually, so I mean, cool.
Tangible news.
Cool Batman. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see it.
We really don't
Really
have any further thoughts on it until we see
quickly
it.
on the
Really.
Batman. I love you, Mr. Sunday movies. I love the Weekly Planet. They're great movies and TV podcasts. But come on, wait a few more fucking days before putting out your video about the post-credit scene for the Batman. I didn't watch it. They put it out on Monday. I was like, dude, brutal. Like, why? Why?
It's all culminating to a Batman. So I bet
Batverse.
Here it is. The post-credit scene. I know it exactly. Spoilers. The post-credit scene is Caesar from Planet of the Apes has risen from the grave. And him and his ape friends have started invading Gotham sewers.
No.
Robert Pattinson will now have to, as Batman, destroy the smart apes.
No. Here's the thing. But here's the important part. Who resurrects Caesar?
That's a good question. Roz.
No.
Rachel Good.
No, it's not. It's Gorilla Grodd.
Fucking Gorilla Grodd. There you go. And it's a perfect crossover into the Flash movie.
There you go. The Batman crosses over the Flash. We get to see Robert Pattinson and Michael Keaton.
That's funny. Well, one last another like kind of like final-esque thought on Batman really quick is that Matt Reeves has sort of established that he is not interested in creating like a movie environment where like Superman will be included or anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like
going back the way of the Nolan films.
Yeah, and I think it's important to establish that. I'm not opposed to it. I think it's great. We had a single off standalone Joker movie that was fantastic in this weird and different universe. I think not focusing on the potential Justice League aspects of how to bridge one to the other was perfectly good. I think they just need to leave this as like a hopeful like prospect that will like branch off other Batman films. So that's cool. I'm genuinely just fucking can't wait to see it. It's gonna be awesome.
Speaking of something that I might wait to see or might go see if reviews are better than I expect, Fantastic Beasts 3. What was this one? Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
They put out another trailer.
I'm out.
Really? Really? Okay.
This is going the way of Jurassic World, if you ask me.
I really liked the trailer for what it was. I thought it was a visually interesting trailer. Honest to God, me and Kate had the biggest argument we've had in like a year about this trailer. Because
polarizing.
Well, so here's the thing. I was a fucking edgelord kid. All my friends were reading Harry Potter. I was like, I'm too cool for that. I'm going to read Percy Jackson. And
I'm going to read Percy Jackson.
I still love Percy Jackson and the Olympians. But
you're all fucking muggles anyway.
I hope that actually I hope that Percy Jackson and the Olympians show that Disney Plus is doing is good, because that could be a great series. That said, I didn't grow up with Harry Potter the same way Kate did.
Yeah, okay.
And she was like, the other Fantastic Beasts movies, I was like, the first one, that was really fun. I watched all the Harry Potter movies, and then I was like, hey, let's watch Fantastic Beasts. Because why not?
Yeah. First one's great.
I watched the first one, fun movie. Not the best, not the worst. Second one, pretty fucking boring.
Yeah.
But I could tell it was building towards something. So I am genuinely curious about where this one is going. And I feel like if like the reviews turn out good, I'll go watch it in theaters. And this is what I told Kate that sparked a huge fucking argument. And don't get me wrong, only love. We're great. but it got heated for a moment. I was like, this is a visually interesting trailer. I feel like, and I mentioned this on the show before, we get like 3 really cool magic based fights in like the Harry Potter films prior to this.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of magic shenanigans and like fun little things, but you don't get really anything cool besides like the last battle in the Deathly Hallows and the Voldemort versus Dumbledore fight in the like political place. You know what I'm talking about? Why am I forgetting the name?
Yeah, the Ministry.
The Ministry. The Ministry of Magic. Yeah, that's it. And I feel like we're getting a lot of that in the trailer. And I was like, cool, show me some cool magic shit. If the story's all right and it gets decent reviews, I'll go and watch it in theaters so I can see that, you know?
Yeah.
And my God, I forgot how much Kate was like offended by the Fantastic Beasts movies. As like a devoted fan of that franchise, how much they sort of just like push aside the existing lore and the existing narrative for the sake of doing like fan service.
Yeah.
And I honestly forgot how much that can rub people wrong.
Yeah.
But coming from it as like a less devoted fan, so my interest...
welcome to comic book movie fandom.
Exactly. But it's something that I was like, I don't know. I've always been like on the outside of that franchise. And it's like one of the few things that I'm not like super invested in terms of like blockbusters, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really like I'm not like going out of my way to watch this next one.
Did you watch the trailer at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do think that they're exploring some things that fans want exploration of, but overall it's just like I don't know. Like it just doesn't have if how do I say it? The first movie, it was great until the second movie came out, and then it became good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the third movie comes out, if it has even less value than the second movie,
yeah,
it's gonna make that original movie just look like shit.
Yeah.
Because then it'll just be like, okay,
they went nowhere.
Because in that original movie, they do a lot. It extends itself because they do a lot more character digging and they do, a little more world building.
Yeah.
And
Newt Scamander is a fucking great character.
And that's the fun thing about that movie.
Yeah.
And to the more it's like it's weird because some properties you want that flushed out, the world more flushed out and stuff.
Sometimes you don't.
And seems like with these properties they're kind of doing a worse job of it.
Yeah.
And so I don't want them to continue this because I don't want this to be the world that's known to everybody.
What I find so interesting, I think it runs that risk to a point. Like I don't think it's going to squander the originals just yet. More than J.K. Rowling already has herself.
I just think that nothing will ever squash the Hogwarts world of Harry Potter, but it could do enough damage to make that less appealing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And I think what was so interesting, I was talking to Kate about this. I was like, after we watched the first Fantastic Beasts, Kate was like, I don't really like it, and I was like, I really enjoyed it. Because it sort of expands on this world that was so contained to like England and Europe in the Harry Potter films. Mm-hmm. It's like, no shit, there would be wizards everywhere, right? There's got to be like a school in the States. What the original plan for the third, before they really backtracked, I guess, and they rewrote it significantly after the bad reception of the second, rightfully so. But they were gonna go to Brazil. Like the whole thing was gonna be in Rio in like the 60s, which is a cool setting. Mm-hmm. And they were going to go to the Brazilian Hogwarts, which, cool on paper, probably just like too much world building for the sake of world building.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that's where that would be a great storyline for a piece of writing. Exactly. You know what I mean? Which I feel because you could really flush that out and play with the reader can play with their imagination. You just don't have the screen time to make that good though. No, and that's something you have to I've been it's really been beaten over my head for years because of comic book movies, like I mentioned earlier, where it's like, eventually you just make peace with the fact it's a different medium, you cannot pull off the same things. You can do it really well, but it has to be different. But when studios start picking apart elements of like the original properties and piecing them and gluing them together in ways that they weren't, like those storylines weren't meant to be. Yeah. you have to like, you start as a fan being careful, being like, well, does that really work together? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and if you're gonna pick bones, then you'll constantly be unsatisfied. That's the thing I've learned. Like, you'll constantly be unsatisfied if you're gonna pick bones like that.
Yeah.
Even though you want to. Like, that's me. I want to, but I try to like ignore that instinct.
Yeah.
So I can like enjoy what is being presented somewhat.
I think what the issue is with the Fantastic Beasts movies beyond the first one is that it's more for the sake of more rather than more because it's a good idea.
Exactly. And
I mean, like we've said that about the Star Wars movies, about the recent ones, the sequels. Like, what was substantive? What was the pitch beyond Disney owns Star Wars now? Let's make a trilogy.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, even with some of the, like, you can say what you will about Disney as an evil company, Marvel has been fucking good. And it feels like almost every movie, excluding like Eternals and Black Widow recently, has like had something to offer, whether that's in terms of character or like furthering the wider story of the universe.
Yeah. Well, and that's, even technically both those movies tried to accomplish like some sort of like further world building.
Which they do, but those are like two of the sort of like films that have sidestepped it a bit.
It's like, it's just it's just stuff you have to be careful of when you're a fan of a certain property in a certain medium and it's transcending that medium. You know, I don't know. It's because, like I said, it's sort of weird to try and explain that because it is like such a hot button. Like, it's such a hot, like a feeling, an emotion for some people. Like, they still get wrapped up into that. And
I mean, I said,
like, I can't blame you, but I feel like you're just building your expectations up to like always be disappointed because you'll never get what you want out of comparing like a comic book to a movie, out of comparing an anime to a movie, out of comparing a Harry Potter like book to the Fantastic World movies.
Let me tell you, fucking
Fantastic Beast movies.
Fucking there is one film that does it well though.
And what's that? Twilight transcends it all.
It's the exception that proves the rule, man. Way better than the books.
One of my favorite things I recently saw about Twilight, actually.
What?
It was
it was a joke.
It was a series where it's like a series of books and movies where the main character has to choose between bestiality and necrophilia.
Oh, good God. What?
And it's true, though. You're either fucking an animal or you're fucking a corpse, right? Like,
oh, no.
Bella's fucked up either way.
Oh, God. I got speaking of a franchise, I mean, like, that crushed me. I mean, I said it earlier. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Those movies are fucking terrible.
I've never. I got it.
Don't.
I mean, I just.
They got Uma Thurman for that garbage.
That just. Yeah. They just. That whole like property just completely passed me by.
Dude, it's a cool concept, and those books. I was talking to me and Kate. We'll probably. We're waiting for our apartment work to get done. Then we're gonna record probably the first episode of our show. We did, and heads up to the listeners. Amateur's notes. We recorded our first episode. The audio quality was shite, so we laid that one on the back burner. But we'll have one out probably very soon. But we were talking about it. It's like that could be a fucking killer franchise because the books are written like screenplays. Like, they're not complex writing wise. They could be like lifted directly and just cutting out, just like trimming the fat, and you have a pretty good like 3-hour film, or like 2.5-hour film. And it's like, well, how the fuck did they ruin this? And it's that same era of like adapting things that kids enjoyed badly. Like, it came out right around The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I know. Oof.
And that's like the low, dude. That's yeah. Well, and that's why you mentioned that Disney Plus is bringing that on as a series, and that does seem like it might be a good format for it
100%.
For a property like that.
Well, I mean, I actually think, and Kate will probably get around to this on Amateur's Notes, because me and Kate have always thought, like, what would be a good way to bring Harry Potter back if they were to like redo the original series, the original like books. Mm-hmm. Probably a TV series would be the way to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
or like a short form.
that being said, like there's not gonna be a good time in the next 20 years to redo
never.
those Harry Potter movies. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna happen for a while, but if they do, like a Netflix series will be the way to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, like they like really should consider, like a studio really should consider making a streaming property out of some elements of that world. You know what I mean? That you're right. Like that is a perfect candidate for something like that.
The best things that have come out of Star Wars recently are games and streaming
and television shows.
Yeah,
and
I don't think it would be that far off from that.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of the thing we were talking about right before recording. Moon Knight, man. Moon Knight's coming right the fuck up. All right.
We got like 3 weeks.
And it's gonna be dope. They released a new character poster.
Yeah, Mr. Knight. Which for those that don't know, that's the Moon Knight that's like in a suit.
And so in
an actual suit.
And so, it just everything we've seen in terms of like media
drops on March 30th
for this, it has been
6 episodes.
Impressive. And that these character posters the character costumes that you've seen are impressive. Like overall, even though I have some beefs with the Moon Knight costume a little bit, I'll say it, but overall, like just it's something to like really hold your breath.
I think we've seen so little of the costume though.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I just don't like the supernatural transformational rap that I saw. So I was like that kind of looks weak sauce. But
I'm forgetting the name of the guy, but they showed who's voicing like the god.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that news. I can't remember off the top of my
I
head.
immediately recognized the actor. He was in Grand Budapest Hotel, notably for me. He played Older Zero in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Is it Ralph Fiennes?
No, it's not Ralph Fiennes.
That'd be so funny.
It'd be funny. Here, I have it saved.
So yeah, that'll be kind of interesting. Real quick, Marvel note: I saw this theory for Gore the God Butcher for Thor 4.
Yeah,
and the idea was that because of things that are referenced in like Eternals, for instance, what if Gore, instead of going around killing other gods like Thor, he's going around and he's killed like some Celestials. So that kind of puts the cosmic stuff on the radar, and that would make sense because they haven't really established the presence of like a universe is full of like different gods and stuff like that. So it'd be a kind of an interesting way of explaining that character.
F. Murray Abraham.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the guy that does. He has a role in Mystic Quest.
He does.
He plays like the senior science fiction writer on staff.
Oh my god, he's been in fucking everything.
Oh yeah, dude, he's a storied career.
Last Action Hero, Grand Budapest Hotel, Scarface.
But yeah, that's cool. I mean, he definitely has a
How
fairly
to Train Your
distinct
Dragon
voice,
3.
So,
dude, great movies, by the way.
But yeah, overall, like Marvel, as always, has stuff coming up. We haven't even, talked anything about Doctor Strange this podcast, but I do want to mention that Patrick Stewart is officially like mentioned that his role that he's yes, he's acknowledged that he's in the movie. However, I was reading a quote from an interview recently, and he also mentioned this thing where he was talking about how Professor Xavier has died 2 times before at this point. So you don't really know like what kind of power level or what you're dealing with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting thing that he noted, because clearly if that's on his radar, I feel like that's something that they had play into the character.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So perhaps like they're embracing the idea that he's like, maybe his mind is transcended from like,
he's no longer needs a physical form.
Yeah, maybe it's gone from like version to from like one timeline version of Professor X to a different one, but it's still like the same consciousness from like the Fox movies or something like that. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
Notably, Bruce Campbell's in it.
Yeah, that was the other one.
So in an interview he said, I did a cool scene with a character that's been beloved for years, and we'll have to see what ends up in the movie. I don't know if it's still in there.
I really,
who do you think he would play that's a widely beloved character?
I mean, like honestly, I wouldn't think too hard into that phrasing. I feel like that's a phrase that like Bruce Campbell could probably be applying that to his role in the first Spider-Man movie as the announcer.
That'd be fucking funny.
You know, because he's that's how he's talked about those roles in interviews in the past. You know, and like people have kind of made those sort of iconic online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like he's the guy that named Spider-Man.
What if they actually make him Mysterio, like they were going to?
I mean, that would be redonkulous. Like,
I think
because I don't think Bruce Campbell. I just don't think I don't think they would give a role like that to him because he probably doesn't want to be that invested in Marvel movies.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? And Mysterio's a character.
Just as a bit, you know?
I mean, maybe. I feel like it'd be way better to see him in just like a non comic book role.
You know, I just saw it just in seeing his headshot attached to the post they saved there. He's got the gray streaks. What if he's a Doctor Strange variant?
That would be really funny.
That'd be
What
awesome.
if he's a Mr. Fantastic variant?
Oh, that'd be even more cool.
That would be cool. I'd see that. I could see that.
What if he's actually just the wrestling announcer, but he's on the Illuminati panel?
That would be so funny. Well, because like, and I just want to mention it. Like, you know, the way he's like, I remember once like reading the way he described some of his characters in those movies. Like the first one, he's like, I am the responsible for naming Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The second one, he's like, I'm the only person who's ever stopped Spider-Man in his tracks. You know, because he's like, he plays the bouncer at the play who doesn't let Peter Parker in. He's like, no, turns him away. He's like, you can't get in. And, you know, it's like stupid shit like that. So I just feel like that's something fun. It's got to be something funny because it's Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. Like, you know, it's.
What if he's Ash?
I mean, that would be fucking incredible. Like no. So here it is. So they go,
listeners,
like they're traveling
Jared's
through,
face just lit up.
They're traveling through the multiverse, and they get to like the zombie universe.
Oh, he's
Ash
Ash.
Williams is just there, fucking chainsawing down zombie superheroes, and like, you know,
he's got the fucking wrist.
Yeah, he's got, and it's just like a quick shot, you know, like, and then
zombie Strange just gets cut in half.
Dude, that'd be so fucking cool though. Like that would be the ultimate shout out if you ask me.
I
man.
think
that'd be so dope.
I think and actually I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast. Somebody did like a frame by frame in the last trailer, and you see there's the scene of Doctor Strange and America Chavez like tumbling through different universes.
Yeah.
One fucking frame. You can't even see it in the trailer. It's so brief. Mm-hmm. They tumble through something and it shatters and they start falling into another universe, and they go into fucking Spider-Verse design.
Yeah. It's like a really quick like animation.
Exactly.
And like, you know.
But if you stop and you look at it, it's like the lines are very like the heavy comic style.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they canonizing into the Spider-Verse?
I mean, I think they've already alluded to that, the fact that they're doing that.
I guess because, technically
you know,
No Way Home, but
yeah, and I think that like, you know, they've referenced like you know, trains of thought of like, you know, bringing Miles Morales, you know, through the Spider-Verse to, you know, real life, and vice versa with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very active idea. And I think when they're writing things, they probably do keep that in mind as like, this is something that if they haven't done it already, this is something that we want to write into the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is exciting as fuck. It's cool. It's super cool.
Really cool.
And technically they've also started, you know, this Doctor Strange will probably establish this also because there's been all those heavy rumors that Captain Britain's going to be in this, you know, and so on and so forth. So it's like,
hopefully played by Henry Cavill.
Dude, no, awesome. I didn't mean Captain Britain. Sorry. I meant Captain Carter. So,
well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and so like like if there's any characters, I mean, look at like you know, Evil Strange that we see in the trailer. Everybody was like, is that the Strange from What If? You know, and if it is, then they're verifying that the animated stuff is just as valid as the you know.
What if we see the Watcher?
I mean, that'd be fucking dope. But I wonder. You know, like how prominent it always makes me question when like somebody like Jeffrey Wright gets a character as Commissioner Gordon and has also done like the Watcher. It's like are they gonna really like establish?
Well, I think the difference is that he's live action in one, and then the Watcher will definitely be a CGI character.
Yeah, but
I think that's the difference, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like in the past we haven't seen this like studio movies cast the same actors in like prominent roles for different like long-term properties.
Dude, Barry Kogan's gonna be in that fucking spot if his Joker ever pans out.
That motherfucker's gonna be Joker.
I mean, if he's gonna be Joker,
I really
and
think
he's
those
gonna
are
be an Eternal.
I really think that those are just rumors at this point.
Who
like,
knows? Who knows?
You know, like.
But I feel like that's an even more dramatic example. If Jeffrey Wright is voice acting versus being in something as a person, you know.
Yeah, well, Jeffrey Actor's a hell of a talent.
He's an incredible actor.
You know, like, and it's not like not that he couldn't do it, and it wouldn't be convincing that he's both characters or anything
totally
like
could.
that. You know, it's just a matter of like, you know, I don't know, I don't know if
I think
they have a habit of investing in.
I have a couple
both
more
those.
things in the know of Doctor Strange though before we wrap up. I think that the aesthetic of the multiverse we see in No Way Home, like when the sky is opening up and you're seeing all the different villains and you see the universe behind them. It looks a lot like the universe or the multiverse in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Just sort of the color palette is very
Definitely.
similar. And I think what the fuck was the other one? I saw somebody also was digging through the screenshots and everything, and you know the shot where it goes into Wanda's eye?
Yeah.
Like it looks like that's a different evil Wanda in the first place.
Yeah.
Like that she's in the room with the Illuminati. And there's blood everywhere. So there's a theory that there's this Wanda that's gone fucking crazy. It's not like our Wanda. It's a Wanda from a different universe.
Some multiversal Wanda. That's
and that
like,
she murders a bunch of this multiversal Illuminati.
Well, and I mean, I really feel like that's a direction that this could go in, you know, because there's all the talk of is she the big bad, you know, as well as like shots in the trailer, you know, where, you know, very clearly she goes like, well, how come you get to do it, but I can't, you know, like things like that. And so
you break the rules, you're a hero.
Yeah. And so like her character is just kind of becoming nothing but more ensconced in her worldview that we see her at the end of WandaVision, where it's like,
alienated.
it's just up to me by myself to do the things that I need to do for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a very, for somebody as powerful as she is, very dangerous mindset.
I mean, she's
you
a
know?
very, and yeah, I think the most effective thing with Wanda at this point is that you still feel bad for her.
So what if it's like a Wanda from a universe where she actually did have some sort of family and they somehow do die or something like that,
I mean,
and so it just sends her over the edge.
What if it's in my mind? What comes to mind immediately is what if it's a Wanda where she ended up just like taking over the world with what the
Darkhold?
Not the Darkhold, but when she made the Hex, she actually just never let it go. She's been living in this delusion, and then something breaks it, and she goes ape shit.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a Wanda Supreme. You never know.
Maybe that'd be fucking wild.
They've been doing all sorts of stuff with that in the comic books off and on. You know, you'll see like Punisher Supreme.
Yeah,
It'll be like like Stephen Strange takes over the Punisher and he becomes the Punisher Extreme, or the Sorcerer
Extreme.
The Sorcerer Extreme, I think was the name of it actually.
fuck yeah.
I think stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
god.
But
Do you see the Punisher just got a new logo?
yeah, I mean, there's
They're trying to distance themselves from the Punisher logo recent.
Well,
like, the recent
I mean,
use
there's
of it.
that, but I don't think that's. I think they're trying to distance it, but I think it was also misinterpreted by fans. So like a lot of fans got really up in arms and they were like, "What are you doing? You can't change the iconic fucking logo." And then immediately after that, and you can find these all over the internet, you'll see like tons of visual
Differences.
evidence of like the fact that like his logo has been augmented throughout the years depending on where the character, like what the character is doing in the storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what this is, you know. It's kind of a cheesy ass looking logo, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think Marvel was ever like, this is going to be it from now on, you know what I mean? Like, but that being said, like the last thought I have is that it was announced that the Netflix shows, Marvel shows, are officially dropping onto Disney Plus.
Yes, and they're adding
this month. So
really, they're adding in like an age gating as well.
that's cool because that's what I was curious about. I was like, I'm really gonna like if I go back and watch some of those, I'm really gonna be scrutinizing to see if they've pulled any of the literal punches, blood work, any of the violence, anything like that. I doubt that they will because there will be huge backlash.
Yeah.
But
I think that's they're taking
the age gate's a good idea to work around that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's opening up the door. So I'm putting Deadpool on.
Yep.
And they're really I think that while the Hulu purchase makes sense to actually, or putting the stuff on Hulu makes sense in theory, actually having it all there on Disney Plus makes a lot more sense.
Well, Hulu's a less popular platform
Yeah.
already.
Also, you
like
lose
even
the
though it's been
cohesion,
around
you
longer,
know?
and yeah, it's just when you log on to Disney Plus, they really have it smart. Like when you log on there and you have those like
You have the
bright, like
subcategories.
Star Wars, Marvel, like
Yeah,
it,
Nat
it
Geo,
looks
yeah.
visually more appealing.
Yeah,
than
you
Hulu
should be
does,
able
for
to
sure.
go under a Marvel tab, see every film in the MCU, and then have like off to the side like age-gated content. You know,
Because right now on Hulu, if you try and find Marvel stuff, granted they have the Deadpool stuff on there, but one of the more prominent things is like some small town. I think we mentioned it like years ago when it started. You'll find like things like Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah,
like from like
gross.
Freeform TV or something like that, and it's just
and the Runaways.
Yeah, it's like smaller scale stuff, like
Hey,
where it's like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
they got the property rights somehow.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be on,
That's gonna
on
be
Disney
one on
Plus.
Disney Plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably be down to revisit some Agents of Shield.
I'll
you know what I
rewatch
mean?
season 4 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's it. I'll skip the first couple of seasons for sure. 'Cause
I'll watch.
You know?
I will watch the latter half of season 1, season 3 and 4, most of season 5.
Yeah.
I won't give a shit about season 6, and then I'll watch season 7.
There you go. All right. Well, you got any final thoughts for the?
Go watch The King's Man on streaming.
Oh yeah, it popped up.
I feel like
It's there.
that movie it has its issues, but Matthew Vaughn is such a good director, and I think what they try and set up at the end of it is pretty fun. And the Kingsman franchise is fun, in my opinion. So give it some love. It has one of the best action sequences of last year, in my opinion. And it has its issues, but it's a blast. Totally worth it. It's on Hulu.
Hell yeah.
If you're not paying any more than a subscription, I feel like it's totally worth your time.
And let's see. I just finished up watching the show on Netflix called Archive 81. It's super supernatural.
Yeah.
It's like kind of centered around like a cult and like some like occult stuff that's happening.
Interesting.
It's it's actually really cool. There's some cheesy moments, but overall like really fucking cool like vibe that you get from the show. So that's just a random show to check out. But as always, there's plenty of entertainment to be had. There's more shit coming up from on our end. Old Heart keeps chugging out. So follow us on Instagram, Old Heart Radio. Ooh. Follow us on fucking Spotify, iTunes.
I gotta quickly say,
what you got?
Do you have three hours to kill? Do you want to listen to a podcast?
Well,
do go on. Just had a guest on, and they do a 3-hour recap of every Fast and Furious film.
Oh god,
including Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh my.
Go and watch it.
That reminds me, the final bit of news we'll leave you with.
Oh god.
Jason Momoa has kind of mentioned that his role in Fast 10, though we do not know specifics, it will be a villain of some sort. And he said that the villain is like I can't remember what the word he used was, but it's like a flamboyant villain, which is cool because his style fits right in with his style and shit like that. So if he's like gonna, I want to see Jason Momoa in a pink suit punching Dom Toretto in the face.
Oh god.
That being said, you know where to find us. We'll be here when you need us. Get out there and do something with your lives.